Life's Tough, but superheroes are tougher. A podcast about real-life superheroes in the entertainment industry with your host, Stephen Shamus.
This episode is brought to you by the Podcast Services Division at Life's Tough Media. Having your own podcast allows you to creatively reach all types of audiences, from clients to prospects, to your most loyal membership base. And by utilizing studio affiliates located around the world, coupled with quality remote recording capabilities, Life's Tough Media makes having a corporate podcast easier than ever before. Contact us for a no-obligation consultation at info@lifestuff.com or visit lifestuff.com to learn more.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Life's Tough. Today we have Harvey Tolibao, a very, very famous Filipino artist, an artist I've known for many, many years. And of course, my sidekick, Alex Rae. Welcome, everybody, to the show.
Yeah.
Harvey, you're in the Philippines right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, it's like you're like in the middle of the night over there. I know.
Right, I was gonna say, is it late or is it early?
It's morning now. It's morning.
Oh, it's morning.
Oh, well,
Okay.
good morning.
It's 8 in the morning. 8 in the morning.
Okay. Well, good morning. Thank you for joining us today. It's a real thrill for us to have you. You're a very, very famous artist. You're very, very well known. You've worked on a lot of projects. I own some of your art.
Yes,
I bought that beautiful.
sure. Yeah.
I bought that beautiful Green Arrow. That Green Arrow cover from you. I still have it.
Yes.
I won't sell it. I love
It's
that
the only
cover.
It's the only cover I've done. For
Yeah,
Green Arrow.
That was a great. I love it. The second it came out, I love that cover. So
Okay.
I picked that cover up from you. I think it was Chicago. Yes. Right?
It's my first Comic-Con. It's my first Comic-Con.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
My first international comic convention. And it was yours, so I was fortunate.
That's great. But you've done a lot more since then, right? That was a bunch of years ago.
Oh, after that one, I did a lot. But that's the first one. I have several invitations way back, but I thought it was special to come to that place. Yeah. So
awesome. So Harvey, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your background, where you went to school, where you learned to draw, what your influences were. Talk a little bit about your background and then how you wound up doing, very big characters like Green Arrow. You've done some very prominent.
Background is Star Wars High Republic Adventures #2.
Oh, no, this is number 1.
This is number 1. Okay.
Book one.
I knew it was Adventures. I couldn't remember which issue.
Yeah. So I'm working on Star Wars with IDW. It's the Star Wars High Republic with Daniel Jose Older, who write a lot of books. So it's one of the New York best-selling author and stuff. And right now we are currently working on Star Wars project, which is linked with another Star Wars from Marvel and written by Kevin Scott and drawn by Aryo Anindito, who also an Indonesian artist, happened to be a friend of mine. So the two Asian artists are now working with both Star Wars amazing art comic book. And I'm Harvey Tolibao. I'm a comic book illustrator. I'm from the Philippines, Manila. So I've started drawing since I was young. So my dad is like a painter. So back in the days, there is no billboard for cinemas way back. Like the way they do the billboard is the cinema will send them a photograph, a small photograph. Then my dad need to paint it to a larger size. So he need to paint like 2 large poster every week. 2 large poster every week, and he's quite fast for that job. And I remember way back when he got the chance to draw Star Wars, and I remember the large Millennium Falcon on the front of the a scene, and I asked him why you have to make that Millennium Falcon so precise, the same as the picture. And I remember he said this is like an actor, he's an icon. He said he's like Clint Eastwood, and in my mind it's blown. I'm like, no, that's only a spaceship. No one will remember that one. Then when I grew up, I learned to love. Wow, Millennium Falcon it's like Harrison Ford. It's like Princess Leia. So that's like an iconic stuff for the film. And as I grew up, my first project with the international project was the Robert Jordan New Spring. So it's like Lord of the Rings type. And I remember way back, they paid me like an Xbox. So they sent me an Xbox for the 3 issues comic book.
That's great. That's,
And-
Alex, that's not terrible.
That's not terrible.
That's
It's not
not
great.
terrible.
Money's great, but an Xbox,
Yeah, but-
they weren't cheap.
Yeah, but the beauty
That's
of
funny.
it is like after I received the Xbox console, I gave it to my brother because I don't know how to play games. I just keep drawing since I was a kid.
That's funny.
When I gave him the Xbox, because he's staying in front of the school, and the next week it was stolen. So
Oh, no.
it was stolen. so I'm drawing like 3 issues for like 4 months, 5
Oh
months.
my God.
But the Xbox was already gone a week after I gave it
Oh,
to my
no.
brother.
Oh.
And
Oh, no.
there's like a barangay hall, like an important government office, and next beside it is like a game computer shop. And I've seen the Xbox in there. It's
No.
and we tried to tell the official that that's our Xbox. I said, you have no evidence. And I told him, there's no Xbox in the Philippines. That's the only one. It was sent to me, and they never.
That's a
believed
funny
it.
story.
So-
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Harvey, did you go to school to learn to draw, or your father taught you everything?
my father hate me to be an artist. Like he
Oh,
said,
no.
like
Oh,
don't be
no.
an artist. Like
Oh,
don't
no.
be an artist. And as I grew up, I wanted to be like him. Like wow,
Of course.
I love to be like you. And I seen my grandmother's collecting comic books since 1960s. She has
Wow.
like hundreds of comic books. And I love to see that there's like one panel picture that tell a lot of story. Like what is this? Like what this picture tells to the next another one, and it's called sequential. It's a sequential art of a comic book. And I told my grandma, like, I want to be like this. I want to be a comic book artist. And as I grow up, I'll keep drawing. I'll try to ask him. He never stopped teaching me, but he keep telling me, don't be an artist or else you can eat only once in a day, like us. So you can only twice is the most, like you have the best thing if you eat twice, if you're an
Right.
artist, because he knows how hard to be an artist. But the first project that I have with Star Wars after the Knights of the Old Republic, after the New Spring is the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic with Dark Horse. And I go back to my home and tell my dad, like, look, your son make it true. He become a comic book
Oh, that's
artist.
awesome.
And my dad said, like, maybe there's no artist available in the world. That's why they get you. And like telling me like there's no choice for Star Wars. That's why they get you.
There are
And-
plenty of Filipino artists though. Lanil is from Philippines.
Yeah,
right?
Lainil, Carlo Pagulayan, Steve
Yeah.
Segovia. Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
amazing artists. But
Yeah.
that time only Lainil was doing so well.
Okay.
And Will Sportacio, of course, but he's in the States. So Carlo was doing so well too. So when I got the chance to work on Iron Man, Marvel tell me like, hey, come to Marvel. You can draw Iron Man for us. We've seen your robot in Star Wars. It's amazing. And when I received the script for Iron Man, there's no Iron Man for 1 to 24 pages.
Oh, no.
It's all Tony Stark, but all the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are all beautiful ladies. So they're wearing swimsuit, fighting. So I was like, oh, this is a dream come true. There's no Iron Man, but swimsuit ladies. It's all the same. So
Got it.
when I go back home, I'm showing my dad, like, your son never just got lucky. This is Marvel. This is real thing. And it's gonna shown in the theater. Iron Man that time was shown on theater, the same as the comic book Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out. And my last name on the front of Iron Man was misspelled.
Oh,
Oh.
geez.
It's spelled Talibao, T-A instead of Tolibao. So I told my dad, like, look, your son made it through. And my dad said, like, I don't have a son named Talibao. Our
Oh,
last
that's
name,
funny.
please check. Our last name is Tolibao. And I was like, ah! I emailed Marvel, can we change all the cover, like 100,000 copies? Yeah, it's
That's
fun
funny.
that yeah, my dad was so proud to me to be in the comic books, but you don't need to show it, because if he show it, I will stop
Trying.
I will stop trying. So
Right.
until now, my dad's still like, oh, you still do cartoons? I already bought a home for them. I already sent my
Right. I think
my-
it's
all
been about
my-
20 years almost. Yeah, I think it's done.
Yeah,
That's a
I've
funny
sent all
story.
I've sent all my siblings to school, man. All my siblings sent to college.
That's funny.
I've sent everyone.
That
And
is
still
funny.
my dad's like, oh, you're still doing cartoons. How come the eyes are not good? I'm like, what?
That's funny. So Harvey, growing up, obviously, other than your dad, did you have any other influences? Were there artists that you were like, wow, I really love? When you're looking at your grandmother's comics, was it Jack Kirby? I mean, who was
Oh,
influencing?
no. Alfredo Alcala, Alex Nino, because it's a local comic book. It's way back. It's a local comic book, and you can see there's like Lan Medina was there.
Oh,
So
Lan Medina for
yeah,
sure.
Lan
Right, right.
Medina, who's like a fable, like he's a nominee. He's a nominee artist for Eisner. It's the only
Yeah.
Filipino nominee for Eisner Award. So yeah,
So
they
far.
were there. It's all comic book, and yeah, that's the influence that I have was of course Laney Liu, who happened to be my friend, Stephen, Carlo. These are the guys. As I grow up, I become a background artist of Carlo Pagulayan on X-Men and stuff. So me and Stephen Segovia was their assistant artist, and we learned a lot. Like I learned a lot. But the first time I met Carlo, when I see his works on Electra, I think, or Emma Pros, I wasn't like impressed. Like, how come it's only line? Like I used to love like Alex Nino or Alfredo Alcala. Like that's not comics. And I show my artwork, and he told me like, oh, you need to do storytelling, you need to do expression, body language. I was like, oh, like I'm done all wrong the whole time for how many years since I was a kid. But that's opened my mind, and he gave me like a marble art board, which I still have until now. I'll just Xerox it on a A3 paper so I can draw on the Xerox copy because I don't want to use the marble paper. For me, that's like that's like heaven to me. Every time I see it, when I sleep, like, oh, marble paper.
The fabled Marvel paper.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Carlos, these guys.
Then how did you? So how did you start working at DC on Green Arrow and some of the other titles at DC?
Oh, when the Marvel project came, I do a lot of beautiful titles for Marvel. I did like X-Men, What If Civil War, Young Avengers. Then I did Psylocke. Psylocke put my name on the map because I am the one who do the rebirth for Psylocke with Christus Engage. And that's the time that DC offered me like, you want to work on us on we give you Green Lantern, which it's currently filming. So I was like, okay, what is the Green Lantern project that I have to do? Like Sinestro. And it's really, really hard, like working with, I think that time was Joe Jones, like, oh, what is the script? Like, I don't understand how they do it. So it's crazy. And they gave me the Green Arrow. So like,
that's great
to work on the Green Arrow.
So Harvey, you're starting to see the Asian culture really start to appear in films and television. You have a movie like Shang-Chi coming out. What does it mean to you? So obviously growing up, you know, we're seeing superheroes on the screen in the United States that are a reflection of who we are and our values and what we look forward to. Then you have these other films that are starting to come out now, hitting theaters, like a Shang-Chi. What does it mean to you to see a Shang-Chi in a theater or see some of these other Asian characters in films today portrayed in a more super heroic way and not just in the stereotypical way that you used to see in the 70s and 80s?
Shang-Chi was a huge impact for Asian culture. Like especially it's the first one that we're gonna make a film, and but when Marvel decided to make a wave for Marvel, everyone got so intense because Wave was created by Lenin Francis Yu. And I think that's the time like, oh, if Shang-Chi was made, Wave will come, something like that. So not only for all the Singaporean was also a huge market, and especially Guangzhou, where you invite me to be part of it. And there's a huge culture there when it comes to comics and a lot of films. And when Shang-Chi was announced, not only but the whole Asian was so proud of it. Like, oh, we can see a lot of character that will come on films. And that's why when I try working with the Star Wars, I try to talk with my writer like, oh, are there gonna be an Asian character that will be outside? We need to design one, and we designed, and it's the first time that I designed my own interpretation of lightsaber, which is a samurai and a lightsaber on
Ah,
top of it. So I wanted him to be like a Japanese, since my grandma had like a blood Japanese way back time. So yeah, you can see in some upcoming on Star Wars, there's like an Asian Japanese samurai lightsaber. It will be out on the comic book, and yeah, that's the thing. Artists have a huge influence when they draw it really linked to film and stuff. Like if you can see the Avengers, it was really quite like an ultimates, like a comics from Mark Millar and Brian Hitch. Those are like an ultimates, but they go with more on the old Captain America Avenger stuff. But when you see the film, they have Nick Fury. Nick Fury came out as in Ultimates, yeah, as Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
So yeah, the comics really a big impact on the film, and it's vice versa. And also, comics also done with the influence of film. So either way, it's a good thing for all of us. Is we we are seeing now Asian character coming to life, and that's only not good only for market for Marvel and or even DC or whatever like Netflix. It's gonna Netflix right now. It's currently working on Trece, who happen to be a Filipino comic book. Now it's gonna be an anime series on Netflix. So the market is opening right now because there's like a huge beautiful culture in not only in the Philippines but Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia. Like if you've been to their place, like man, the culture's like culture shock. Like, oh, what is this? What is kind of mythology is this? What kind of magic is this? So if you can see that one in the film someday, it's gonna be not only a good market, but it will inspire the next generation of kids to grow to work on their creativity. So yeah, it's a good
so
thing for all
so
of us.
so Harvey, you've worked on a lot of different characters over the years. Is there a particular character, like you just said you created is that the sword behind you, by the way, that you created, or the lightsaber?
Oh no, that's that's
That's a
their
different one. Okay.
main
That's the
character
main one. Okay.
lightsaber.
I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if that was by your design. So you've worked on a lot of characters. You said you just created you're creating an Asian character. Talk a little bit about the influence that you could have. Obviously, there's a lot of right now a topic in the news is a lot of these Asian hate crimes going on. There's been an increase in that. You're an Asian creator. You have a voice. The new Shang-Chi film is coming out. You're talking to Marvel about some of the things you want to put in the books. Do you and some of the other artists get together and discuss things that you can do? Is there anything that you feel that is sort of unfair, or anything that you feel, how is it affecting you, all the stuff that's going on?
I think moment like this is a huge help. Like this kind of questions will bring up, and the only thing that I know is like um every country have a different culture. Every country have a different things that been done with it. Like if 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 this phenomenal virus are coming to a certain place and it's huge impact for a different place, no one planned that one. No one loves to have that happen because we have loved ones. No matter what race you are, we have all those loved ones that we love that don't need to be affected. And by the end of the day, if the answer will hate and all people will turn into wars, war become answer to this one and so forth. It's better for the government to really look um, into what will be the best thing for all of us, not only as an individual, but what did we contribute? Like one of the best scientists right now are coming from Asia, from India and stuff. There's like these are the guys who invent something that will will kill this virus and stuff. There's a different races, all the stuff helping. But as an individual, as an artist, what we do is through this one to voice out. Like for me, I do comics to inspire more generation, more kids that your dream can come true no matter what place you are, no matter where you are in the world. Just keep working on it. And what did I do is like I put a lot of Filipino stuff on my drawing. Like in first Iron Man, you can see Manny Pacquiao, like our boxer. It's not famous way back 2007, but I already put in there like, oh, this is like an iconic thing that people would see. And when I met Manny Pacquiao, like I told him, like, hey, I'll put you in there. And it voices around the world that Filipino has the chance to work in this kind of industry. And that is more important. I know there's pandemic happening, but giving hope to those kids is more important than anything else. Like your dream can still come true no matter what. You can dance, you can work on your art creatively, and that's more important than the hate and fighting in the world. And I think, yeah.
Harvey, did you find that when you were at shows in the United States, were there young Asian boys and girls coming up to you, sort of saying something to you like, oh, thank you for doing this? Or I mean, or it didn't really matter? Did you find that the fans were sort of colorblind to it all? Or did you have a particular young Asian kid saying, you know what, this is what I want to do with my life?
Oh, when I was working with Green Arrow, the first time I was in the States, I think it was in Philadelphia. Philadelphia was the first convention that I've been, that we met. And also met Garrett, and also met Stanley. And when Stanley came to my table to say hi, but he will try to shake hands. I mean, when he see the Green Arrow on my back, in my background, like, oh, he was told by his bodyguard not to be taking picture with Green Arrow in the background. So I almost met Stanley on WizardCon on Philadelphia, but I met him in AceCon on
2017.
Nashville, I think. Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Nashville or something. So it's still the shows that you made. So I met him there. So when I was in Philadelphia, there was an old lady come to me, and it's like she told me like, I've traveled for how many days. Then she cried. Like, oh, like it's my first international Comic Con, and someone cried in front of me. Like, what did I do? Like, what did I do? And he said, like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Then mom tell me the story that I wanted to tell you I traveled for like how many days with my son. I just want to tell you that the Green Arrow you've done is the best Green Arrow we've seen. And my husband was a huge collector of Green Arrow. Like right now, he is in the hospital, cannot move. If he can move, he's here, and he has like a huge collection of Green Arrow. And I'm here just want to tell you that the Green Arrow you've done is the best Green Arrow you've seen. It's like that's the thing. Like, oh, I make something. And but DC was kind of like awkward on my Green Arrow because I did a Green Arrow who do parkour, and Green Arrow never do parkour way back. So I think like, oh, I need to change Green Arrow. I mean, I need to make him cool. Like I don't follow the script anymore just to make him parkour. What's in the script? And I hope Innocent is still happy about what I've done at that time. But I think that changed your life when you see a fan come travel days just to tell you what you did for his husband, or how the impact you can use, and that's what makes you proud. And same thing with we are in Guangzhou. I'm the only Asian guest there, and all the guards doesn't like me, but all the people like really love me. They are so proud, like, yeah, like so proud of me. When I go to the stage, they go shouting, like, because I'm the only Asian guy that time in Guangzhou. Like I see my face, and I go to the mall, I can see my face like really huge. Like I can see my face, and I was standing there like, it's me, that's me.
That is funny. That is funny.
So yeah.
So talk a little bit about your culture, because I think it's important, and I think part of the show is to sort of, talk to people who are influential, talk to people that are in the industry. So you mentioned prior that you put Manny Pacquiao in your comic book, that was important to you. Talk a little bit about how the Philippines, where you live, where you grew up, has influenced your work, and what do you want the fan, obviously, bringing back to what we discussed earlier, what do you want the fans to know about the Philippines, where you grew up, how it affected you, and how it sort of affects your work?
I think it's a small thing that we do that one, like doing like what they call this one. They call it like stuff that we need to find in a comic book, like that will represent our culture. But in the end, it's the most important thing still is to tell a story of how this book well written by the writer, and through that your name will be familiarized with the writer, and time comes that they will work with you in a certain project that you can express more, like, oh, I have this time in my culture, can we do it? That's the time that you can work with it. Or like when we work with the Amazon, there's an Amazon TV series, Carnival Row. The
Yes.
whole studio that I have is the one who drew the comic book for Carnival Row.
Ah,
So they send us a lot of stuff coming from the TV series, and I do a lot of some designs that would go in the comic book.
I love that show, by the way. Alex, did you see
Yeah.
that show?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Oh, by the way, it is a fantastic
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. I've heard.
It's really
But,
great.
I've heard.
Yeah, start with Orlando Bloom and Carol.
Orlando Bloom, he's amazing.
Yeah. So
He's great.
That's the time then the writer like, oh man, that's a good idea. We could try to incorporate it. For now, your voice was only like from 10%, 20%, 30%. As long as you got to make your creator on, that's the time you can put all your magic and stuff, because creator on was yours, and the writer itself. So for now, the influence you can do is just keep doing the stories, tell it well, because by the end of the day, it's still all about the writer's work. You can illustrate it as it follows, because if you keep changing, then no one will work for you. And that's what I learned through the years. You need to work as a team. If you're in a certain comic book, the stuff that you can put, you can make it there. Like I put a beer that locally here drink by
That's
Alien and Star Wars.
that's
So and kids and dad, mom from the States will see it. They visit you in a comic con. When I
That's
was
funny.
in San Jose, I think. Yeah, it's one of yours. I think yours was the only one that I go to the States. I've never go to
That's
San
funny.
Diego and stuff.
That's
I
funny.
go to your show because yeah, I feel home. I've seen Alex, like every time I see Alex, hey,
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Like you're the only person I've known here.
I'm pretty easy to remember too. The big red beard
Yeah.
helps.
And you remember people. And
Yeah.
I think that's what makes us more comfortable, because artists like are introvert. Like we are so scared to go out there. But as you go along, you build your confidence. You know the people, and you never stop caring for us, man. Like from the smallest thing, like, hey, what's your problem, Harvey? So on and so forth. Alex will be there and stuff. So that's the thing that feel you like a family for a certain comic event, and that's why I never say no. Like Guangzhou, like when I see the guests, like I'm the only Asian there, I'm kind of scared. It's a place that I don't know. Like I know there's no Facebook in there. I know there's no communication. When you're lost, you're lost. So, but when I've been there, the hotel and the event that we've done in there is the only place in China that has a Facebook. Like,
Oh,
That's
Interesting.
funny. I didn't know that.
I don't know if you guys were there. Like
I was
it's
not,
really
but yeah, that's
oh,
interesting.
it's really scary when like all the people are queuing, like numbers
Yeah,
of
yeah.
people, and they buy all this expensive ticket for the celebrity, and the government like send like police and stuff, and yeah, it's
That's
scary,
funny.
right? It's scary.
That's
but
funny.
It's
Bananas.
exciting. Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
So Harvey, so talk a little bit about some of the superheroes and villains that you've either drawn or that you want to draw. Like, who is your favorite villain that you have that maybe you want to draw or you haven't drawn, or maybe a superhero that you've drawn or haven't drawn yet that like you really want to put your stamp on it?
The character that I love to draw was Psylocke. Like I'm a hardcore Psylocke fan. Like I remember the Jim Lee blue cards where
Yeah.
he draws
Oh yeah.
all the X-Men. So Psylocke was there, like standing on the rooftop with the ninjas around it. So when I got the chance to work on Iron Man, there's a character named Tiger who used to live on Madripoor. It's like another character, and she's like a ninja something. Then I draw her like really look like Psylocke like the whole time.
That's funny.
I wanted to feel the Marvel like, oh, if we had Psylocke artist, this is the guy.
Right, that's
so,
funny. That's
so
funny.
and after so many years, they offer me Silac. Like, oh, we remember your
Ah,
album
that's
and
funny.
stuff. So
That's funny.
it's the sometimes when you get the chance to draw character, like you put your heart and soul on it, like everything that you got. Like that's why like I love all the film. Like I'm the only artist in the world I think that love every film that was made, like even Ghost Rider, even stuff that people hate. I love it because I it our like grandfather who used to read comic books, or uncle who used to read comics, who are now in heaven, and the Lord will tell them like what is your wish, the only wish they have. And if you don't appreciate what you're watching now, like the amateurs and stuff, like you hate them, the wish of your uncle is to change, to go back here and change with your life. Like, I would kill that nephew I have just to watch that film. So that's
What about
how
what?
beautiful the film right now. And yeah.
So what about a villain? What about a villain? So
Oh.
Silac is your hero. Who's your villain?
Oh, I love comics, man. Like no matter what you give me, I just draw them well. Like no matter what. Like I've never had like a favorite or least favorite. Like Silac is of course, but for villain, like everyone is interesting. Like if they give me a chance, like I go crazy with it. I remember when I do Galactus or Silver Surfer, like I know in the script like it's only shadows, but I draw him like really draw. I want to draw Galactus, and I just still the colors like put black on it. So,
Look, it would be great to see a film version. It would be great to see a film version of Galactus. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like
You know, I think I think the special effects are there now, Alex. Right? I
Ready.
mean, think
We're past clouds. We're ready for
Galactus. Past clouds.
We're past the cloud.
Clouds and lightning. They don't need that anymore. Yeah.
That's funny. So Harvey, is to sort of wrap it up. You know, one thing that we like to ask everybody, and especially with you being in the Philippines and the pandemic going on, and it gives us a chance for you to talk about your home country a little bit. You know, do you see anybody doing something that is like a regular person being a superhero in your country? Is there somebody in your country right now who is a superhero to the people of the country because they're doing something that's helping people during the pandemic, or they're doing something extraordinary for the Philippines to make sure that people are safe? I mean, talk about your home country a little bit, and who are some of the superheroes in the Philippines?
I think for me now is the current superheroes is no matter where you are in the world, or like the government, no matter you hate them or love them, it's the same as superhero. Like not superhero doing good things, and you can see the film. There's a TV series in Amazon. What's the title of it? Like they want to kill all the superheroes because the superherows are like the bad guys. Like
The boys,
bad guys.
the boys,
Yeah, the boys. Scott Robertson and Ennis, right? Ellis Warren, something. So Warren Ellis. So these are happening right now. Like we hate the government. Like a lot of people quoting Facebook hate this one, but in the end, right now they try to do good. Some of them are corrupt, some of them are not good. But by the end of the day, they will save whatever they have, like the place they have, like our country. They need to save it, or by the end of the day, all of us gonna sick, then all gonna die, then nothing will come. So for me, no matter how small you are, like if you are working on the street, you're still a superhero. You sweep the street, you spray the street so that the virus will never spread. Even the smallest person right now that doing good for wherever they are in the world is a superhero in their place. Like if my dad is working on the train, maintaining, cleaning, even the janitor, if my dad is a janitor cleaning the train, that's my superhero. He will do everything he can to save all those guys who ride on the train, the passenger, to keep safe. So all the small peoples who make the world a better place are our own superhero. Like my dad is always a superhero. No matter he is in there in my house, making my brother and sister safe, that's a real superhero. Our parents is a superhero. Even you are a superhero. You invited me to a lot of places in the world. Alex keeps me safe. Like Harvey, are you good? You go to the airport? What do you need? Like those are the heroes that we never notice. Small things like that change our life. Like if you don't invite me, like no one knows me in the world. Like I can never meet my huge fan in the States. Like I can never go to the Apple Center, like the real Apple where Steve Jobs creating everything, because there's one fan there that joined the show, the Wizard show in Philadelphia, and he bring me to Apple, like, Harvey, you want to go inside Apple? But it's scary
That's
when,
awesome.
when I was there, like I bring all my bag, like all the security like, wanted to shoot us or something, like, hey, like they think we are a bad guy. And when my fan came out and the whole Apple campus, he's the only one who wears shorts. That's why I know he's special. All the people are like very clean and stuff, but he's wearing shorts. And I told him like, oh, the guards send us off. They don't want us. They call the guard, bring their bags. So I feel special. That time,
That's funny.
That's awesome.
that guy is my hero, man. That guy is my hero.
That's
man.
great.
Yeah,
That's
he showed me the world. So yeah, same as you, man. Stephen, you don't know you're a hero to us. But to
Oh,
me,
thank you. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
a
Thank you.
big thing. So,
Not so much Alex though. Not so much
Yeah.
Alex.
I take my cues from you, so I'm the sidekick. I'm the good
Oh,
sidekick.
yeah,
There it is.
Yeah.
I'll take
Um,
that. I'll take that.
So Harvey,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you
yeah.
for joining us tonight. This
Thank you
was
so much.
very informative. You did a great job. We really appreciate you coming on. I think the information that you gave us about yourself, about the Philippines, about your life, your story, I think is very impactful. I think people will take a lot from it. I think the fans
Hopefully.
and young kids will take a lot from it. And we really appreciate you having you. And thank you everybody for joining us today.
Thank
And
you.
we will see you guys next week, same bad time.
Same bat channel. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.